How you feeling? Good? No? Tired?
How are you? Nervous? He's like, no, this ain't nothing for me.
No, it's easy to talk about, I guess, whatever you're passionate about.
Right there in the David boots that we put here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he'll be here anytime.
I didn't think you were nervous.
How you doing, Otto?
You think I'm a sergeant? I'm good.
How you?
Good, how are you?
Nervous?
No.
That's what I just asked him. I just asked him the same thing.
The flags are posted. Steve, a two-time Purple Heart recipient and Vietnam veteran, started a rally downtown Lynchburg at Monument Terrace after he had about all he could take from a group protesting the war after 9/11. The rally recently celebrated their 1,000th consecutive week. That is amazing. You can go down there on Fridays. You have to go down there on Fridays from noon to 1 o'clock. They have been down there since that day. It doesn't matter if it's raining or it's snowing or it's sleeting. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas Day or whatever day. They are down there. There's someone down there every Friday from noon to 1. Go down there. It's like hollow ground. I feel like I'm stepping out onto the battlefield of Gettysburg. I mean, I just get chills up my spine. It's just incredible. It's just incredible, and it's honoring those that have served and that are serving. Steve has a strong voice in our community, and he's such an advocate for our veterans. And I just want to welcome him to the podium so he can share a little bit about what's going on with our veterans. Please welcome Steve Bozeman, United States Marine.
Cheryl is a big advocate of veterans. Turn the
It's on. It's on.
turn it back on.
No, it's on.
Turn it back on.
It's a Marine.
That's a Marine for you.
Yep. Beat you to it, Otto.
You need an Army guy to help you.
Yep.
Just a little technical difficulty.
Steve.
We're good, Steve. Just don't touch that button.
Hello?
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Thanks, Cheryl, for all those pictures you displayed
Yes.
of all the guys at Monument Terrace.
Right.
There's only one veteran over there still living, Carol Reeves. He's the Black Air Force vet that's in Bedford Nursing Home right now. But all these World War II veterans, you know, they've been down at Monument Terrace early on, standing with us to be part of the group of Vietnam vets, predominantly when we started back in 2001. 1,117 Fridays.
Okay, wow.
That
You know,
counts.
1,000 was about 2 years ago. Anyway, I see a lot of familiar faces in here, and I think we've presented a challenge coin to every one of you that has been there. So come down on a Friday from 12 to 1 on a Friday. You can find parking spots. The Virginia Hotel has been very generous letting us park in their parking lot. So you only got to do is walk 1 block and you're at Monument Terrace. I'm looking at that one quote by JFK, John F. Kennedy, and when I raised my right hand in October of 1965, that quote was ringing in my head. I mean, I really thought my country was calling, so I said, why not? I'm an old country boy from Alabama. So my country said, we need you, and I said, I'm coming. So I raised my hand, joined the Marine Corps, which is the best thing I ever did. I know we got military of all branches, but back then I needed to be in the Marine Corps. And they really changed my life for the better. And over the last, I guess, 5 decades that I've been a Marine, and still a Marine, I stand proud, I wear the American flag, I display my patriotism, I love my country.
Yes, I'm
And I love everybody in here who's here today. Thank you for coming. And that Marine over there, by the way, came to Miami Terrace last summer on a bicycle in shorts. And he shows up down there, and I see right away that I could tell he was a Marine. Well, he had a lot of tattoos on him too. But he made that presence. He made his presence known. So right away we became friends, and he has been very valuable in Lynchburg at Miami Terrace. He's on the board of directors now of the Lynchburg Area Veterans Council, and he's really making a difference. He's got a podcast, interviewing people. I'm sure he's going to talk about that. But what ironically about that, back in 2014, we sponsored Eyes of Freedom, which was a company, Lima company, out of Ohio, who went to war, and they lost 20-something men. And we had that memorial here in Lynchburg, downtown, sponsored by the Purple Heart chapter and some other chapters, Vietnam vets. And not knowing the importance of that memorial, honoring those 20-something Marines who died. And unbeknownst, here comes Nathaniel, and he knows the fella the Marine who was involved in that company. I'll let him talk about that. But it's a small group of people, of Marines and veterans who come together, and I'm glad he's my best friend now. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Love you, brother.
All right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Let's move on here. Every year, the Lord opens the door to an amazing speaker. I recently met Nathaniel through a video that Steve Bozeman had emailed out. You don't have to be around Nathaniel very long to feel his energy, his dedication, and his compassion for what he does in the veteran community. Sergeant Nathaniel Quaylar was in the Marine Corps from 2003 to 2012. He served 2 combat tours to Iraq, Fallujah in 2004, and Al-Assad in 2006. He served with the 7th Engineers and 1st Marine Corps Special Operations. He honestly is a miracle story, and he will probably say, still in the works. Please welcome Nathaniel Quaylar, United States Marine.
Thank you. Let's see if I can not mess this up.
Just don't touch the button.
Gotcha. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into today, but I'm glad to be here now. And I really didn't think what I was going to talk about either, but I figured I'd come, I'd see what was going on, and we'd take it as it came.
The Lord will give you the words.
And whoever prayed for me not to be nervous, it's kind of working. Feeling pretty good. It's a little different now that I'm up here, but this is my first time speaking in front of a group of people, so bear with me. The beginning, we had that song come over, and it made me think about where I was during 9/11. And I was in high school, senior. I was out in the hallway because I'd gotten in trouble. I didn't do too well in school. I'm from a small Ohio town, born to some young parents who passed me around to grandparents quite often. So I went to 9 schools in 12 years. I spent most of my time as a child just trying to figure out where I fit in, how to adapt. And I got really good at observing a situation and trying to figure out how I could bring value to it. Being passed around like that, you can feel like a burden sometimes. And it was my defense mechanism, my survival coping skill was to figure out what I could do. And I got really good at it. So at some point, I decided to join the Marine Corps. After high school, I didn't do well, like I said, so I didn't have a lot of options. College wasn't on the table. And like the song said, I had no idea what Iraq was. I couldn't find it on the map. I didn't know what the Twin Towers were. When I watched them coming down out in the hallway, I didn't think anything of it really. It just was another day. So when the recruiter saw me coming, I mean, he was licking his lips because I had no idea what I was about to get myself into. Went to the Marine Corps, did really well. I took to, like the saying is, a duck to water. I was meritoriously promoted from every rank all the way up to sergeant. I made it to sergeant in 1 year and 8 months. I got really good at just taking charge, leading the way, and doing a lot of stuff what I'm doing now. But my combat experience, it really changed me, and it opened my eyes to a lot of the evil that exists in this life. We talked about good and evil earlier. The devil does exist, and I've seen him. And I got really good at hanging out with him. I was in Fallujah in 2004. Couple of the days into the deployment, we had just gotten there. We were doing a changeover with the prior command, and a lieutenant colonel and a first sergeant got hit with a mortar while they were on the sat phone with their family, making pickup arrangements. So I was pretty convinced that if a lieutenant colonel and a first sergeant can go that quickly, so could I. So I put on my Kevlar, and I swore I was never going to take it off the entire deployment. But it's crazy what a person can get used to. Complacency kills was spray painted all over the walls for a reason, because eventually, you know, you can tell what time of day it is because you're getting shot at. So I wear my hat now. A lot of people ask why I wear a hat. If you see me around, I've always got one on, but it's kind of my reminder that complacency kills. It's my Kevlar. I feel like I need to be vigilant and paying attention to the world. And I have a unique perspective because of all the things that I've seen and done, which pale in comparison to some of the other people in here. I know you all have your story, you all have your experiences. Like I said, I got really good at getting shot at, and my mission was not to shoot back, so I kind of had to take it. And I didn't like that. And it fueled a lot of hate and anger in me. And it didn't always go well, and I haven't always been such a good person. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of. But one of the things that I think is the theme is prayer, obviously, and one of the reasons I think I survived all of my experience was prayer. My grandma, who raised me, she prayed for me all the time. She let me know she was praying for me all the time. And I truly believe it's what helped me get through my experiences in combat. And I'm very thankful for it.
The microphone may have gone off.
Can you guys not hear me?
It goes off every now and then.
I swear I didn't touch anything.
She told you not to touch it.
Does that mean wrap it up?
No. No.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, it's still.
I don't think Marines are supposed to use microphones anyway. We're taught to speak with our chest. So, I guess I should have planned something now because I don't know exactly where I'm going with all this, except for the fact that prayer, I didn't always know how to do it, but I feel like my grandma really did get me through a lot of my experiences, and I'm thankful for prayer, and I know it's real. I was shot at a lot, and I survived. I was blown up. I was hit by an IED that I walked away from, that the same setup killed many people. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, it did not me that day. And not to make a story sad, but I believe that my grandma's prayer was all that she had left, because shortly after I came home, she passed away. Mm-hmm. And I've never forgotten that. And it's opened up my relationship with God and prayer. And I'm very thankful to be a part of this community and to meet Steve Bozeman. The day that I went down there, I had been putting that off for about 3 months. I've only been in Lynchburg almost a year now. So this time last year I came, and it took me about 3 months to actually go down there. I knew you existed. I knew the troop rally was going on. My buddy Mike Straley, who he had talked about earlier, had told me about you and told me that if I was in Lynchburg, I needed to go see Steve Bozeman because what he was doing down at Monument Terrace was different than any place he'd ever been. He traveled all over the United States with his memorial of those 28 men that died in that track that day. But he told me that there was something special going on in Lynchburg. And it took me 3 months to go down there, and I finally did. And now that I'm there, my life has changed. And I've been able to put myself out there. And I look forward to being a part of the community as much as I can. One of the things that got me through my Marine Corps experience was I always raised my hand and I always volunteered. That was one of the things that made me a good Marine was I was never afraid to raise my hand. Both combat tours I volunteered to go and do. Every time I left the wire, everything that I signed up for, I raised my hand and I went kind of blindly into whatever it was. So I want to do that again here now. If anybody has anything going on where they need someone with a camera to shed some light on it, talk about it, I'd love to sit down and talk and listen to everybody's stories. I want to get involved in the community even more than I am. It's one of the things that I love about Lynchburg that I've learned since being here is that it survived the Civil War because of wounded veterans. All the trains coming in, fooled them to think that they were reinforced with troops, but really it was wounded veterans that saved Lynchburg. So I think it's very serendipitous that a wounded veteran and wounded veterans could possibly save Lynchburg again. And I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm willing to raise my hand, whatever it needs done, just let me know. Thank you very much.
Very good. Well, if this was your first time being up and giving your testimony, you did a great job, Nathaniel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service.
Appreciate it.
And I know that you are helping other vets too, and that's very important. They need a sounding board, someone to talk to. But sometimes talking about it helps to get it out. So thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.